Cool.
Maybe it's hot.
But then
yeah.
my son said, I think I saw the same bunny lying like that. So, yeah. And all of my dahlias and lilies are gone. Now lilies are
I had a raccoon come through my backyard last
Maybe
night.
they're smart enough.
Come right by the house. Come right by the house. It's great to have my cameras because I can see all the wildlife that appears.
My son said,
Have you seen the bear yet this
I
year?
need to plant them.
I have not had a bear this year. Did you get a bear this year?
Not yet. That way.
Years ago, we
Cool to see, but
I never.
else is right next to it.
Yeah, years ago we did have one who knocked the. We never saw it.
You're feeding the
Not
critters.
bird feeder.
That's where all my strawberries went to the chipmunks.
So I don't put bird feeders out anymore. And I did have a bobcat. I've got that on camera now.
Calling
Yeah.
to order.
Okay.
All right, old business. Discussion possible decision application 830, 23 Robert Road, grading and upland review area associated with construction of pole barn. Zachary Besnaras.
All right. Feel free if you want to step on up and can just kind of give a little overview. So this is on your agenda as old business. I think I had mentioned the email. It was received in time for the last regular meeting that was canceled, so it was received last month, even though you haven't discussed it yet. But you can act on it. But yeah, if you just want to give a little explanation of the project, just brief flow.
Yep. So I'm putting up a 36 by 54 pole barn. It's right outside the upland review area, but it's right on the line. So I filed an application for just like them to be able to do the work like in a 20-foot buffer inside the upland review area. I had Rich come out and test for where the wetlands like started. So the building itself will be outside, but just applying for just a little bit of, I'll have to like touch up and regrade, right around the building where they'll be working and stuff and reseed it and everything.
And it was Rick Zulik, the soil scientist. And yeah, so really it's just, as you mentioned, the building's not in the upland review area, just some grading and stabilization.
And the building is pretty much going to be at the grade, the existing grade, so there's no like major grade changes or anything. So
Herbert's the one off of Forbridges?
There's that one in between.
connect to, one idea.
That's residential, right? The properties?
Yep.
Okay.
And
Variance.
I took some pictures. Yeah, there's only a couple houses really.
That's the
Is it
road,
that
yeah.
big? It's that White House. You've done all that clearing.
White Ranch.
Oh,
Yeah.
you've done a lot of. I go by you all the
Trying
time.
to. It was very overgrown and like trying to make it nice.
So your plan is, so I said to myself, I think they're putting a barn up there, and I think they're going to have cattle or horses.
Well, there's
or,
a existing horse barn, and
Yeah,
just
in the
trying
back
to
there,
turn
yeah.
it back to like a nice little farm.
Nice.
So, yeah,
That's
a lot of
been-
work, but trying to get there.
Yeah, that house has been longing to be
Yeah.
loved again.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
And I took some pictures while I was out there. So the one that's by itself on one side is from the top of the driveway, kind of facing toward the wetland, which starts a little before the wood line. But then on the back side, you'll see the top picture. You could just make out like stakes with wetland flags on them, kind of in the field before the tree line. And then the third picture is kind of facing the backyard of the house. The foreground will be like where the barn would be roughly in this
Correct.
general area. Yeah. I'll just send that around. But yeah, we did have the report from Rick Zulik, who didn't perceive any likelihood of any impact to the wetlands. And with the erosion controls as shown. Does anyone have any questions?
Is that plan that's in there, is that the site plan?
Yes.
Okay. Just checking. And you're good with like the erosion control measures as proposed?
Yes, I just handed around all my sets, but I think it was just a row of silt fence.
Yeah.
It's like real flat out there. You only really need to bring up the grade slightly just to level the area for the pole barn. And since it's a pole barn, they're not having to do a lot of excavation and foundation, anything like that. So compared to like everyone putting in these large garages
No
and
foundation, just
yeah,
piers.
yeah. So it should be pretty simple as far as site work goes. But so I didn't really have
I got nothing.
any concerns on it. We did talk too about, if there would be gutters, not to direct them right at the wetland, anything like that. And you did respond, say there would be no gutters anyway. And yeah, no foundation, anything like that. So that kind of simplified things. So I thought we could get by with a simpler. The drawing in there was done by Rick, right? It was the soil scientist sketch, and then the applicant added the location of the barn on there.
And so, yep.
Yeah.
I was going to say, that area, there's a lot of agriculture going on around you, so you may see things happening that you think, oh, I should be able to do that, but they may have exemptions, so just
Oh, yeah.
just don't follow suit with them all the time, because I know that whole property is just surrounded by ag.
Yeah.
For sure, yeah.
But you got the beautiful horse farm across from that.
Yep, that's nice.
And they take great care of their
They do.
property.
Yeah.
Oh, so you're opposite side of the road from the horse farm?
From the horse farm, yeah.
Okay, nice.
Yep.
If you come right off of 190,
Closer to that end?
they're the first house on the
okay.
left,
Yeah.
the White House, and then
Yeah, it was
there's
kind of
no
tucked in
houses.
there, and then, yeah.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Nice.
Okay, so for purposes of discussion, can I have a motion?
Go
ahead. No, you're better at it.
All right, I'll make a motion to approve application 830 for 230 Herbert Road, grading in an upland review area associated with construction of a pole barn. Based on the following, that the Commission finds the applicant has submitted all necessary application materials pursuant to Section 211-7 of the wetland regulations, including but not limited to Section 211-7E5, alternatives considered and rejected. The Commission did not find the proposed activity significant, and the Commission finds that the criteria set forth in Section 211-10B have been met by the applicant.
I second.
Okay. Any other questions or discussion? Nope.
Nothing.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? No. Motion carries. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So I'll be able to sign off on your building permit application, but
Okay.
technically from, I'll have to post a legal notice. Technically there's a 15-day appeal period from when that goes in the paper, so it's just kind of a build at your own risk. But I won't hold up your building permit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you very much.
All right.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
You too.
Okay, application 831, 969 Main Street, grading and septic in upland review area associated with construction of new homes, Executive Estates Realty.
I can also throw a copy on the
Go ahead.
table.
Go ahead.
969.
So that's on the north side of 190.
He's got a board, but I'll throw down a some here. He says it's easier. And then
This is a microphone, so I probably shouldn't
Oh.
cover it.
I shouldn't have thrown it right on
I'll
top.
kind of put it in the middle.
Muffle all the.
Yeah, I don't want to muffle the mic.
I'll just do that. That's fine.
Do you have anything else you want to go over beforehand?
No, go ahead. You
Okay.
can give him the.
Close to
That's
Colorado Drive, that's where we are.
Yeah, I'm Mark Reynolds. First of all, I don't come in front of this commission. I can't remember when.
I know, I haven't seen
Planning
it.
and zoning, yes, but not here. I'm a professional engineer. My practice, which, gosh, I've been in too long, it focuses on residential and commercial development. My office is in Hebron. So, yeah, the site is out close to the town line. You mentioned Colorado, it's here. So, there's a an old subdivision here, and the property we're talking about is one of those lots that was in this subdivision that was approved quite a long time ago. This is the town map, wetlands. It shows a wetland here, but there's an area of wetlands which is basically a low topography that's kind of sandwiched in between the state route and the neighbor's driveways. You see there's a neighbor's driveway here, there's a neighbor's driveway here. So they had our soil scientist, Ian Cole, flag this wetland in here. It's basically just an area with no outlet topographically because of the street. There's no drainage in the street in this area. There's no pipes or anything under this driveway, so it's a very, very small area with a very, very small drainage area, because if it didn't, it would be a lot more problematic in the neighborhood, and it just simply isn't. The property is shown with this red line. There's a house for the neighbor right here, and there's a house with a neighbor right here. And this neighbor has a series of buildings and sheds and things that are all up through the back here. The property is sloped, generally from the rear to the front. There is kind of an area in here that's more suited to housing development. It kind of rises up in the back. And when you get past about this part of the property, you start to see some surface ledge and really large boulders, and that kind of is scattered off throughout this area. So we did soil testing for septic recently for this plan, and found suitable soils in this area. So basically our plan is to develop the house site here, and the septic in the front, and the driveway on the left side adjacent to the neighbor's driveway, so that it's furthest away from the wetland area. The buffer line is this red line that kind of runs through here. So we're able to keep the majority of the activity outside of the buffer, aside from the actual septic area proper. There's like I said, it's well suited to septic, nothing extraordinary there. It'd just be a straight tank septic system. There'd be some grading around the house to make it work. And this line that you see, the difference in the colors here represent our limit of disturbance, or our clearing limit, and also there'd be a perimeter silt fence for erosion control. So we'd have perimeter silt fence on, from about here all the way down, because this is all uphill. And then, construction entrance, typical temporary construction entrance at the street. The stabilization plan is simply seed and mulch everything. That comes from there. So the post-construction grading is intended to be this way, around the back this way, and then down the driveway, and then so we run just like it does now. So we'd be matching the drainage patterns that are out there now. We're not running water from one place to another. It's basically front to back. Now it would be maybe back to front. Now it would be back to front after. And that's it in a nutshell. We did summarize the activities in the application and on the plan. Where are you? Somewhere. Where are you? The disturbance within the URA is 5,282 square feet. And that's mainly, like I said, focused on this area right here. That's it in a nutshell. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them.
All the dark green is that still wooded? Or
Yeah,
is that,
the site is, I guess maybe I mentioned, the site is completely wooded now.
Okay.
And so there's no intention to clear beyond the light green, which would be grass afterwards.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay.
I would say the woods. The woods are, there's a large canopy, but there's not a lot of like specimen trees out there. It probably was logged at the time the subdivision was done, and then it's what's grown up since then.
You mentioned in the beginning about this wetland having kind of no outlet. So there's no, on this side of 190, there's no drainage ditches, no...
Near as I can tell, what happens is it spills out, runs gutter flow down to this area right here.
On the pavement?
Yeah, gutter flow.
Okay.
Yeah, there's no... this side, topographically, this side of the road is higher.
Yeah.
And so, yeah, there's not really any formal drainage in this area, and there's not a lot of grade here either. Through this whole section, it's pretty flat. You start to gain the grade once you get past, come from here going this way, it rises up a lot, but in this area, it's kind of a flat section.
So there's no like need for any culvert under the driveway to convey water or nothing like that,
here?
right? Yeah.
No. No, we'll be matching grades with the neighbor. If anything, the tendency would be for drainage on that side to come this way. But no, we don't perceive that at all. It's kind of a quick up off the street right here. You'll notice that we're like cutting in the driveway right here.
Yeah.
Because it rises up pretty good.
Yeah, just today. Okay. But it's the color.
Yeah, and these contours are 1 foot, so bear that in mind too. It's not as much grade as you're used to seeing 2-footers. Then there's twice as many contours. I'll have to talk to somebody about that.
Looks good. And then this is the silt fence line? This
The dark hatch line is our silt fence.
Down here?
Yep.
So I haven't been out there yet. This came in recently, but I'll make a point of it before the next meeting. So if anything jumps out at me, I'll reach out to you.
Sure.
But
Yep. The flags are flagged in the field. You should find them very easily. The test pits are relatively recent, so you should be able to pick them up pretty easily for orientation too.
okay.
And then
Very thorough. I appreciate it.
no problem. That's what we do.
You're
Yeah.
paid for it,
Yeah.
And
That's how
so
it
Jeff
goes.
Catlett was already out there.
Jeff was out there. Actually, it's kind of an interesting. I'm actually very happy to be here with this plan because we looked at a site just up the street with Jeff one morning over here.
Oh,
Up, back.
is it the one next door to the?
It's been for
one that's
sale
under
for a
construction?
long time. Yes, there's
Yes.
one that's this with the driveway,
yeah.
and
The one next to that.
My client wanted to do something on that lot, and we went there with Jeff, and we dug good test pits, which
Yeah.
I was more or less hoping we wouldn't find. And so I would be here talking to you about a wetland permit because there's a stream almost that runs
Yeah.
along the front there, and there's a massive drainage structure. Well, so we got about halfway
That's
through
all
that.
new. The people who just were building that house put all that in.
Yeah, well, there's a DOT structure too. That's
Oh,
huge
I see what you're
down
saying.
at the
I
top.
gotcha,
But
yeah.
anyway, we were about halfway through digging the test pits, and my client says, "What about this down the street? That's flat compared to where we were. This is not flat." But so we just got off. And we drove down there
Oh.
and we dug the holes, and he said, "I'm not going to buy that. I'm going to buy this."
Okay.
And here we are.
Path of least resistance.
Yeah,
It's
it's
a
much
good decision.
It's well suited to residential development. The house that we're proposing will be very consistent with the other houses. You can see the distance from the road here in this view. So it's going to sit right there.
What does it say? 1.4 acres?
1.5, yeah, just under.
Nice.
Yeah, so it's I'm not sure why it sat there all this time, to be honest. But it there's nothing wrong with it. So
Yeah. And we haven't had too many septics in the Upland Riviera since the new director of health started, but I'll talk with Jim. Usually we would get kind of a little written approval from the town sanitarian in those cases. So
Yeah,
I'll
sure.
try to circle back with him. And
yep,
I don't know
and
if
he
he's
was
reviewed
there.
this yet, or
Jeff?
Yeah. the
Well,
plan.
he has not
Okay.
because it hasn't been submitted for a building permit,
Okay.
so he wouldn't.
Okay.
And it doesn't need to have subdivision approval, so he typically
Right.
would do that as part of that. So yeah, it would be great, and he is very familiar because
Yeah.
we did the soil testing together, so he knows where
Okay,
it
great.
is. And Yeah. In my experience, I've done the design manual for the health department has guidance on nitrogen and phosphorus uptake, and there's a series of calculations you can do. But in my experience, if you're over 50 feet away and the soils aren't pure sand, then the retention times are all adequate for pathogens and phosphorus uptake and nitrogen. So I don't foresee any sort of problem with this septic system in this area. And honestly, it's not like it's flowing directly into anything. So from there, you'd have to cross another property before you get to this wetland.
Right.
So,
Okay.
And otherwise, it all meets all the health code requirements.
Okay.
You should see we got our wells radius doesn't even go off the property, and we wanted to stick that right in the middle so it doesn't inhibit the other properties, or at least as little as possible. So that's the story.
Nice.
Yeah.
It seems well thought out. Great.
Yeah, we try. I'm glad we're not on that hill.
Single-family home, right?
Yeah, single family.
I know that's. I was just out at that site today for like the millionth time, but yeah, it's tough working that and snaking that driveway.
Yeah, switch back on a short drive.
Yeah.
So that's it.
Sounds good.
All right.
you
If there's
for coming in.
anything else that is needed, just let me know.
Yeah.
And if need be, I'll come back and see you.
Yeah. If nobody has any strong concerns or questions, maybe he
No, at
keep
this
you off
point,
the hook
so
next
unless
month.
you,
So
Yeah,
just
well,
if I
you can just play it by ear. Play it by
Okay,
ear.
yeah, I'll do a better job reviewing and visiting the site, and then I'll let you know if there's anything. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
Straightforward.
usually, if they're pretty quiet, you might not be needed.
Yeah. That's fine.
for the trip.
Yeah. Actually, I enjoyed about 3 innings of baseball,
Oh, there
so
you go.
that's fine with me. We don't have that kind of enthusiasm around the game like that in our town. So it's nice to see.
I think this is the
No.
All Stars, right?
it's
I think
All-Stars.
You guys
Oh,
just got
is
the
that-
fair enthusiasm, right? The Hebron
The
Fair.
Hebron Fair, yeah. I'm actually from Lebanon. My office is in Hebron, so yeah, with it's
Okay.
there's not. We have the teams and the thing, but it's not like that. They're playing the music, like the walk-up music.
And it's in the 90s out
That's
there. It's
awesome.
like-
That's really great
After
for
just
the
a
kids.
puddle.
Just don't park too close to home run territory.
Oh, I'm sure. I'm dead center. I'm dead
Oh,
center
boy.
right now. So that'd be a story. I'd be all right. I'd be all right.
Get a
Well,
free souvenir.
John
Right.
Road in Stafford is going to be fireworks tonight, so if you feel
Oh, I
like
might
hanging out
get it,
watching
right?
baseball and see some fireworks.
Yeah.
Well, my
Like
phone
downtown?
just died when I was sitting there, so
Oh,
I might
no.
get lost. And that might happen. It's possible. No, I know the area well. I've been up to the fair here for years.
Oh, 14.
My kids all showed 4-H and all.
Oh,
that.
nice.
Oh, that's
I've
great.
been around here many times. So.
That's good.
All right, thanks.
Thank you. Thanks
All
for
right,
coming down.
We'll see you next month or not.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Have a nice holiday.
Hey, you too.
Thank you.
Okay, Kevin and Sean, you're on.
Diving right in. Okay.
I like how you just introduced them. I mean, you're so funny.
There's no other audience.
So, our pet project here on Old Hamden Road. Thank you for getting up there, Joanna, and
Yeah.
putting together your typical thorough report.
When was this since last?
I think June 8th.
Okay.
Yeah.
So,
And gave some great updated pictures. It's amazing. I mean, you were on the site, so on a one-dimensional look here, the elevations seem very dramatic. Maybe it looks worse than it is, but there's a lot
there's
going
a lot
on.
of topography happening.
Have you guys seen this or have access to that?
No, I didn't send it around. I kind of, so I had gone out to the site with the zoning enforcement officer and the director of public health, kind of ahead of the planning and zoning meeting, and so we all walked the site, and I put together the photos and notes from the visit. But I haven't shared them here, so yeah, that was since our last meeting.
So, and totally get it now that this is not my first meeting in conservation. I don't intend on touching about anything about zoning. So my concern and why I wanted to come tonight, you mentioned in your report that there was going to be potential for deep involvement because of the size and scope of the project, site, whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
I've been in touch with Deep a few times and went through a pretty nice portal process to submit complaints and such.
Did you hear from
It's been slow going, but I did just get an email from I'm sure there's a bunch of people down there that you don't expect you to know who they are, but they referred the complaint to a enforcement division within the stormwater.
Okay. That's something. Yeah.
So I told her we were in somewhat coordinating, not coordinating with you, but
Yeah.
through our local wetlands agent,
Yeah.
we've been communicating, and that you may be the first point of contact because it's part of that wastewater or stormwater thing.
Yeah, they can always reach out. Like with Deep, their first question will probably be, is it, a locally approvable thing or not? And that's always, it's a weird question because technically planning and zoning approves it, and that's where like the erosion guidelines kind of fall in, but we didn't actually have an erosion control plan to review, so it might be a little bit of get back and forth, but yeah, they can reach out to me.
I think that's the most critical thing to back this thing up, is how much has been ripped open, how much was ripped open without any permits, how much has been ripped open with a permit,
Yeah.
but not within the scope, which gets into the zoning aid. But all along, that permit, when he submitted that initial permit, there was supposed to be a site plan to go with it. And when site plans are reviewed, so should then be precautions for erosion control and other things, which I know was after the fact. And I think that was a lot of miscoordination in the land use office. But I think that when we start to rewind, this thing's been going on for so long and it's gotten very complicated.
Right.
We have to back it up to the beginning and say, what was he approved for? Because he's well outside the scope of anything that was approved. Well outside the scope. And how does that then further complicate matters for what we're actually reviewing?
Right.
So I'm hopeful they do reach out to you. And again, like I said to Carlene, I think it was Carlene Murphy, I just said to her that, I don't pretend to be the wetlands agent out here, but I've read a ton about it, and I think as it approaches 5+ acres, it kicks in a new level of stormwater and erosion. Mm-hmm. And I'm, I guess, trying to get them to embrace that as, I don't think we have the resources. You guys could tell me different, and you're totally satisfied handling it locally. I would object to that, but I'm just like a citizen. So I don't think we have enough support on the schedule that you have, and I also think it could use a little view from a distance rather than such local politicking as part of the whole process.
It is, to be fair, I guess a bigger site and, a lot of site work compared to most of what we encounter.
Correct. Right. Yeah. And there's some other things that I've reported which would be outside of the scope of our conversation tonight. But, the solid waste disposal, which came up in discussions with Jeff, but we're kind of waiting on some of that. But
Jeff Catlett?
Yeah.
Okay.
So the report was excellent, and within the scope that you were brought up there for, I think you've done a great job. There's one other question I've written down.
Yeah. Okay. We need to get your notes back. Yeah.
But that is the only, I guess this is maybe a stray one, but this is the only report that has been submitted by our town in the last 18 months on a site that's had a couple of cease and desist written report. Besides the packet that was distributed to the Planning and Zoning Commission, most of which is from outside residents' feedback on
Oh, is this like public hearings?
notice of
comments?
concerns.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so we've got about 38 notice of concerns, weekend traffic, weekend activity,
Yeah.
processing, bearing of trash
Noise
and
and-
debris,
Yeah.
which I did file with the solid waste of deep.
Okay.
And they all say we're just like extremely backlogged. And I'm just kind of pushing for, is it of material size that you would be concerned if you didn't have the backlog? Or is
Right.
it's not big enough? You got millstone kicking up and you're trying to deal with other things.
Right. I know. I'm not sure what their threshold is for that kind of thing. But
Okay.
are you talking about like the stumps and that kind of thing, or?
Well, I mean, this is it's relatively 7 acres, but are they having trouble with the Connecticut River downstream by some nuclear plant?
But I meant
You
in
got our
terms
hands
of
full, Kevin, not with.
but I meant in terms of solid waste. Do you mean like the tree
bigger
debris
size
and that kind of stuff?
Well, there's more than just tree.
Okay.
There's
It's a lot of
what
interesting pictures.
what I would say is excavation debris, concrete,
Oh, okay.
piping,
Okay.
tarps.
Ah.
Frames that have had concrete, the forms that they core sidewalks with.
Okay.
It's just
As an example, I don't know how much gets filtered. I don't know how the land use office is working with you and Jeff and Jen and the three of you went up there.
Yeah.
But we're not getting many responses these days other than acknowledging the complaint.
Okay.
But I sent a video in as an example. Dropped my daughters off at school early June. Happened to Giuliano truck loaded with material, no cover on it. I happened to be behind. I followed it down at Old Hampton Road at 7:30 in the morning, hauling all the debris up the hill. Where's it coming from?
Yeah.
You can't do that in any in a residential zone anywhere. And then where's it? Then you go up the hill, and in all your pictures, you don't see it.
And it was
like a
debris in
magic
there,
show.
not. Okay.
Are they?
It's again, I can't see in the truck.
Okay.
I saw limbs. We've seen trucks come in with pipes, and we've seen concrete hanging out. So the question is you kind of get what's going on here, despite what the applicant testimony comes in on the zoning side. Despite what he's sharing at the planning and zoning meeting, what we're observing is very different.
Okay.
And the question becomes, when you guys go to the site visits, we get blank stares like, "Oh, that's not, he's not processing, or he's not doing it." Like, where's it going?
Okay.
Where's it going?
Not up for them to tell us something.
I would encourage people to be more curious about it.
Yeah.
I guess one question that I have, that's Kevin's question is, the three, you, Jeff, and Jen went up on the 8th, visited together. We met with Jeff after that meeting. He shared some notes. He didn't share his notes, but he verbalized what you guys had met and discussed. But I guess what's missing for me, and you don't have to answer, I'm just trying to figure out how land use works, because right now, the only report that comes out of any site visit is this. There's no report from ZEO, there's no report from the land use director. And I'm curious, when you guys go to a site visit like that, do you meet and discuss what you observed and share notes? Because right now, you're doing an incredible job of being thorough about documenting things, but we're not seeing that on the other side.
Well, and to be fair, I don't often do much extensive reporting. If the site warrants it, or I know this one, there's been a lot of concern. But usually I'm kind of running around, and I'll more so document with photos, and I'll contact people directly. But I, wanted to have something for, I knew, the meeting was coming up.
Plus when it's such a major concern, there should be a little more interest in
enforcement case in the town, and there's no paper trail to their
and it's
point
not being enforced either.
other than what you created. Yeah, I mean, it does seem like a missing piece.
Are you still hearing a lot of activity from now? Your property abuts.
Yeah, I'm a direct abutter on 90 Old Hampton Road, but I also live in Cooksville, so I have I'm in the bowl. I hear it from where we live. I own the property that abuts this property.
You have two separate properties
I do.
up there.
Two
Okay.
separate properties.
Oh, okay.
And, you know, for context, it's a little bit out of scope, but I think it's helpful for this commission to understand it. You know, in terms of the recent chain of events. On May 7th, Kevin, keep me honest on my dates here, but May 7th, the applicant goes before Planning and Zoning and asks for. He claims he had misunderstood what processing means and is asking for an exception to the permit. Right?
Like a modification to the special
to the
use.
special use
Yeah.
permit. Thank you. To be very clear on the words, but that happens on something material changes, whatever happens in town on the 21st of May because of ongoing complaints we keep making. He's been processing, continues to process. On the 21st, the town issues a cease and desist. He has a 15-day window to appeal that. It's a 15-day window to appeal that, which would have been June 5th. Planning and Zoning Commission agreed to a public hearing for him on June 11th.
He asked for a public hearing?
Well, he asked for the exception, but the town attorney recommended that Planning and Zoning have a public hearing to hear this, follow kind of the protocol, which the Planning and Zoning Commission did on the 11th. But the irony is here we're having a public hearing for an exception modification to a permit when there's an active cease and desist. He never appealed.
He never appealed it.
Never appealed it. And so
Was it the
then,
new attorney that advised them, or it was?
it's our understanding. I don't know exactly which attorney.
Because I did listen to that meeting.
And so then it's before the commission. That public hearing happened on the 11th. He continues to process. We keep complaining.
Even with the cease and desist.
Even with the cease and desist.
What is? I don't get the excuse in town
But
for that.
we don't get any
He's not
reply
being held accountable.
from the town in terms of what's being done.
Who is supposed to enforce the
The zoning
cease?
enforcement
Yeah.
officer.
The zoning enforcement officer. Okay. And since then, the officer has not gone out each day to see that work has...
Well, this isn't his first cease and desist. He had one for months, and she never enforced it.
Oh,
I can't.
Okay.
I'm not quite sure. I don't know the free. What we know
Okay.
is when we request information.
Okay.
We get some of it.
Okay.
They could be going out. We don't know.
I know at one point there was a fine, but I'm not sure which violation that was.
This one.
Okay, yeah.
That was
First
But
one.
and so there's still the hearing was public hearing portion of that was closed. The Planning and Zoning Commission is still considering it, and I think it's July 11th is the next Planning and Zoning
Next week.
Commission where they'll
Okay.
where they may decide on it. The piece of it is that there's information that was debated during the public hearing. There's information that the Planning and Zoning Commission still needs, in our opinion, which we won't go into it, but that they haven't been given that I think should go into their judgment. But I give you that context if you haven't been following on. This thing is pretty. There's the conservation piece of it, which is of utmost concern. Like, where's the trouble with? Is the trouble with how the town's operating in this case? Is the trouble with the applicant in terms of not complying? I think it's a combination of both things. But what's most concerning is that, again, what we're seeing is the environmental impacts. The black liquid coming up from the surface. And then we're told on the visit from the land use director that, Brian, the way that you guys validated that it wasn't anything toxic is Brian Giuliano put his finger in it and licked it. And so my question to the land use director is that an acceptable way that you do soil testing and testing of liquids on site? Because that's crazy town to me.
Oh, and I could see that. So when we were there, it appeared to be water, but it was so shallow and on the surface that I could see how it would look dark, because I think you had like an aerial that it looked dark. But we were asking the property owner about it, and then he did taste it, which we kind of chuckled, I guess. But so I don't know if Jeff was
Can we bottle
being
it and
serious.
sell it?
I don't know.
I was sick in bed for a week after that.
Right? I thought,
well, it's not
better
crude
him
oil.
taste it than me. Like, I don't
Crude
want
oil,
to.
because he'd be erupting a...
runoff from wildlife?
But yeah,
It just begs the question: how do we take samples and how do we validate? Are we just taking out his case that he put his finger and licked it that we're okay
My
with
big
it?
question is why aren't cease and desists
That's
enforced?
that's exactly my
Now we have
question.
Fundamental
we
problem,
have a
yeah.
That's
new
exactly
approval,
my
but
question.
there's so
Yeah.
much.
And you
Yeah.
guys can put up the hand anytime we need to be quiet. But so we did press the first selectman for, hey, in our cease and desist orders under, which I don't know what they are, Connecticut General Statute 8-12 authorized the institution of a lawsuit to enforce the regulations and the cease and desist order. And they got back to us and said, well, we don't think this will meet the minimum standards for going for an injunction.
That's the next step. Is that if they
well, that's what it calls for in the cease and
the
desist
next step
order.
is to go for an injunction.
But they always say so the perpetrators, not just this instance, the perpetrators know that we won't take it beyond this.
Well,
So this is the end of the line for them, and they just keep doing what they feel like. Yeah. So one, I'm glad you brought up about how close are we and are we hearing it? We hear it, but and I would not admit this in the zoning meeting, but it really isn't about this and the noise. It's about it's time the town of Summers. Not that we need to be the genesis of it. We're not, but we need to operate differently and to a higher standard. We don't meet, in my opinion, we don't meet state minimum standards.
a rule is a rule.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
And there were some introductions that they made in May, the zoning board, the land use office to the Board of Selectmen, that these things were now in force, that they had adopted them, the zoning and planning had approved them. So there was some written procedures that were going to go on for any new complaints. So there's probably been a dozen or so new complaints since that date. We asked for the documents that they said had been rolled out, approved by the Planning and Zoning Commission, but we get zero back. So
No one agreed to
I saw
give them
they
to.
brought that document to the Board of Selectmen, and I saw that, and it's just her taking notes on a form.
No, but then they right on a pad. So that didn't fly because then they talked about some of the things that were enacted with the help of the land use attorney to bring some stickiness to what is being reported and what are follow-up actions. And those actions were committed to and the zoning board had approved. This is the new format. Not just a piece of paper or something in an Outlook calendar that says so-and-so complained again about that. So it is about the noise, but it's not why we're here. The noise should go away and weekends and stuff, and that's not, again, it's not like waking us up.
Well, yeah, you.
Maybe
that's on our way.
It's really not why we're here. It's a great opportunity. It's a great case for us to push for change.
Yeah.
And that's really that's what's driving the stubborn French guy to say this cannot happen. That's at least we're both.
Yeah,
It shouldn't
I think
happen.
the inconsistencies, the appeal beyond this commission, just as fellow neighbors, the inconsistencies are egregious because if you look at what happened on King Road, 183 King Road, and what the enforcement was there, and then you look at the inconsistencies in enforcement on this, you scratch your head. How can we enforce for Frank Poirier a gross vehicle weight, slightly larger vehicle, which makes it commercial over here in a residential neighborhood, one vehicle, daily driver, residential zone, and the poor guy has to take it out of his driveway. This guy's got over 20 commercial vehicles in the residential zone parked, and yet we're not enforcing it there. So I think as neighbors, as residents, we need to start asking more questions.
Fair is fair.
What's consistent? Again, listen, if people want to develop, I'm pro-development, pro-do, just follow the right process and be respectful of the neighbors in the community. But this has just gotten to the point of so egregious and a lack of oversight across the board, whether it be the land use office, commissions working together or not. And so we just want to keep you guys apprised of kind of what's continuing to happen and say thank you for your report, because it's the only report that's being published.
Or if there's other reports that are published that didn't make it to the public hearing meeting.
Yeah, not that I
wasn't
know.
provided as, this is the entire package that was submitted.
And evidently, the only thing that was submitted by the ZEO was Joanna's report, not a report from
Submitted
zoning.
to planning and zoning.
She presented it like she had done it, but it was Joanna's report, and that's the only written.
It's the second time that's been done.
Which mine's really focused on like
There's
erosion
some-
concerns.
You
And
said that right in your first
Yeah.
sentence,
Okay.
Joanna. I just feel like they were not fair to you in that regard, because this came up as the collective report. That we put this report together. Anyway, we're out of time. Is it possible, and I don't know how this would be funded, but can we not have a sample of this sent in to somebody?
I could ask. That'd be, I guess, more of a Jeff question of like a public health kind of.
You
Because,
took
you know,
a
some of
sample?
the,
He
like,
took a sample?
No.
Because
leaf
if stuff's
mustard
being
gas
buried, you kind
also
of
doesn't
know
really have an odor and
And a taste.
Yeah.
So I went
see-
hiking up on Skyline Ridge this past weekend. Did he put up all those new no trespassing signs, like the
Yeah.
border? Because
Yeah.
they all look brand new.
Yeah.
I don't know if he got. I don't know if Larrabee, if he bought the land from Larrabee. At one meeting, he claimed he had a right of way from because that was an old Larrabee property on the end of Skyline over there.
Yeah.
And he could have, because that was a public hike. Yeah, that was not a public, but it was a trail that you could walk up and hike.
Yeah, it kind of borders his property right there, so I didn't know.
I
if
got
they
no.
must-
If you come down Coatesville, I got no posted signs all down my road because
Yeah.
all his dirt bike, which is that all his dirt bike traffic that's going over there now is coming through our neighborhood down that road, and I've posted to try to stop it.
Yeah.
And you know, my last comment is developers of this nature never hear the word no, and what never hearing no means no to anything, whatever they want to do up there or elsewhere. And again, my beef is not with the landowner. My beef is with the town that we just, you know, outside of you guys, it doesn't seem it's collaborative working together to make the town acknowledge that we have a problem we need to fix. So you guys have been super supportive to help us get to this point. And it backs up some of the stuff we're trying to say is wrong. But it's you know, there's comments in here about large caliber firearms going up there, and there's all kinds of stuff that, because there's never a no, it just keeps going until it's kind of like a teenager, you know. 11 o'clock curfew turns into 12:30 if you don't say no.
They keep pushing the limit. Yeah.
So, but thank you again. Unless you had any questions for us.
You know, I saw
we'll
one
get
of
out
their,
your way.
when I was heading down to the shore, visit a friend, I saw one of their trucks.
Well, they
he's all over.
have. They
He's
have.
in
offices
I
in
didn't
here.
realize how far down they go.
He's
Yeah.
built- He's built quite a successful business.
Yeah,
He's-
and great,
yeah.
you know.
And there's no doubt they work hard. I mean, you see him putting. I mean, he's got signs all over town. He's putting in hundreds of pools. But
Yeah.
Is that cease and desist letter public? Is that on? How did you get a copy of that?
we've.
I think you can
avoided
get
that.
it,
You can
but
get
it's
it.
Jeff Catlett sent this to us.
Okay, I'm just curious.
And we didn't know it was. I think he sent it to us on. I don't know. It was like 3 weeks after it went out.
Okay.
And now, was the cease and desist just for the processing?
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah.
And they're still processing.
They're still processing.
I'm going to ask our first selectman why.
Which is very minor, according to him.
Sifter. Well, they manipulated the word to sound like it's like two guys standing together and they're going like this.
Like panning for gold.
But anyway, it's been entertaining.
But to your point, there's the sifter piece of it. But during the site visit, which was shared with us, the observation of digging and burying, it says clearly in the special use permit, no digging, other than for the dislodging of boulders. So how can our town officials go up on a property observe it, be told that they're digging and burying this material, and then be okay, and there's no cease and desist for that.
You think they're bringing in materials from other towns and
No doubt.
depositing
They've
it up
seen
there?
the trucks coming in, yeah.
Okay.
No doubt.
Okay.
Yeah, that's in the picture there you saw.
They're using it as a landfill.
It's a processing facility. They've taken a residential zone and turned it into a commercial operation.
Okay.
To process material, to bring in, to dump materials that they're taking from sites, process whatever they're doing. They're not dislodging boulders.
So they're
He may
processing
be
it-
taking rocks for his
That's,
rock
but that's
walls.
not what he says. He says something differently. That's
So,
If you read
so
the
he may
special-
be processing rock and then selling it elsewhere
using
to.
Using it for his
Yeah, it's using it
pools,
for a
yeah,
pet.
or his-
But if you read the special use permit, you go back to what the permit was for.
Uh-huh.
The permit was for dislodging of boulders and building a lawn.
And that's what it exactly says.
That was the permit. If people read the permit and look how far away we are from what that permit was allowed for.
Mm-hmm.
And remind everybody, he didn't get that permit until almost a year after he had already done the work,
And after a cease and desist order
and after that.
that was ignored for 4 months, I think, until he got the permit. He just,
But for some reason, we're the bad guys, and all we're trying to do is say, like, listen, use this. This is a great example of where things aren't working the way they should.
Yeah, the rules are not being enforced properly. Yeah, so it can be dealt with properly. Yep.
all
Well,
right, thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
have a nice holiday.
As well, go USA.
Yeah.
I know.
Not
Yeah.
anytime. 5 minutes.
5 minutes.
Thanks, guys.
Bye, guys.
Do we have bills?
Yes, we have 2 JI bills.
Oh, no more for the staff report?
Yeah, do you-
oh, wait.
do you want me to
I
give
thought
it-
you
Oh, I'm
put that
sorry.
under the staff
I'm sorry.
report. Sorry.
I went out of order.
That's okay. So I already sort of mentioned I was at 1046 Main Street. That's the one that with the
And
driveway sneaking
are
up.
they compliant with this?
So it's been a little rocky, literally.
I saw that they tried to seed it finally.
Yeah, so the property owner wants clover and not lawn, and that's been a little tricky, but
Come to my
Say
house.
the
Yeah.
funnies.
but
They won't let me where the clover is.
and like there were different issues where because it's so steep and
Yeah, how I can mow it.
there's plans in the future to do sort of terracing and stone walls in the behind the house, but there were kind of all sorts of erosion going on the
Still.
past few weeks. Well, there's been a lot of progress just this week. I was out Thursday and then yesterday and then again today because they want a CO, but I needed at least all the active erosion to be resolved and like the soil to be covered one way or another. So they're out putting new erosion control blankets, but there are all kinds of issues where so there's no gutters, but the flat roof kind of pitches slightly, and so one side of the house, like the right side of the house, when you're looking at it from the road, all the runoff was just hitting and then channelizing and coming down the slope, and then there was a stockpile of topsoil in the front area, and all the water was channelizing around it and causing a mess. And so there were all these little points of erosion. So they did all weekend. They had a mini excavator out there, and they were repairing things and putting new erosion control blankets and strawing and seeding. And so finally today, I felt it was temporarily stabilized, not permanently stabilized. So I, offered that for a larger than usual bond, like not our usual lawn bond, that that we could move forward with a CO. They've really been working on it, but yeah, it's a rough state. So as much as we're told at the meetings, everything will be fine, and then it's just nothing's ever goes that perfectly or is executed that well. But
Doesn't the clover die off in the wintertime? Like, isn't that going to pose?
it should still, I think, hold things. It's never going to be 100% clover. There's like grass already in between. So I think if it's a mixture, I think it'll be all right. But yeah, clover, 100% clover on its own probably wouldn't be the best thing. But
For soil stabilization?
yeah, I mean, I think it does a decent enough job. But you're right, it's not an evergreen. I mean, but neither is grass. But but I think hopefully there'd be enough residual to hold it together. But I mean, it's nice ecologically. You know, does more ecological services than just like lawn. But I think a lot of people. Well, not a lot of people. Some people prefer a brown cover so they don't have to mow it, but you have to still mow occasionally. Or you're going to get woody stuff and different weeds and everything. But the bunnies should like. That's why the bunnies like your my yard is
not
pretty
what
much
they're eating.
clover and violets. And,
My garden.
oh yeah, right. So that's been interesting, but they're finally getting to a good place. But definitely gonna have to still keep an eye on it. And then there's a few sites that are kind of moving forward. 121 Scully Road.
Is that Upper Scully or lower?
Yeah, that's up. Actually, I have the JS already.
East or west of Turnpike?
Oh no, not my directionally challenged self.
The road, it goes in between.
Uphill or downhill?
Yeah.
Right.
If you take a left
190
if
or
you take a left onto
think-
Turnpike, is it to the
I
left?
think
Lower
it's
Scully's
with
pretty
Dynamite.
wet. That's why.
Dynamite.
So
Dynamite will fit.
We'll fill what?
like it's
whole
the part
thing.
that's parallel to. Well, I guess I can't say that because Skyridge has
As they
two
go
parts,
along,
but
because it's rolling out.
Okay, so it's
Yeah.
upper. Yeah.
but it's yeah.
Then they'll give him what he wants.
I think that's this one.
Oh, where she's got a horse?
Yeah, there was like the RV kind of camped out there for a while, the prior owners, and then they sold it to this lady, and they did just start site work. They put in the silt fence and
This is on
construction.
Scully now.
Yeah,
Is it up
it's
or
like
down?
it's like 3 houses
Yeah,
away
it's
from
upper.
Turnpike.
Oh, okay.
So 3 houses.
Well, I guess 2 houses and this,
On
Yeah,
the
'cause it
left
was
or
the-
on the left or
on
the
the
right?
left.
On the left. Okay.
So that
Right
that
across
lot,
from Summit.
There was a lot that was for sale for years and years and years. It goes down off the road. Is that the lot?
it goes down off the road.
Because isn't
Oops.
the second one the one where there's the barn and everything
Oops, oops,
that
oops.
had the horse, and then next to it there's another lot.
Oh,
It must be that lot because that looks
Yeah, this
like
one's
it
already
belongs
got
to
a-
something else.
yeah. What's this one
Yeah.
technically is Franklin Woods. Yeah, that probably is the one you're thinking of.
So
And
there-
it's
you
a
said
tight
that
lot.
clearing,
Like this
yeah.
whole back is all the wooded area is wetlands. So yeah, they've gone in. I mean, it was just kind of
So there's a stream that goes.
it was just
like
kind of
just
like
the next
scrubby stuff mostly in here, but yeah, they've got the silt fence up and a construction entrance in.
What is it? A new
A new house, yeah. So it's kind of a tight lot. Like the septic's actually like going over here.
We got a
Did they
permit
come?
for that, didn't we?
Yeah. So this is one where there's an older wetland permit, and because of like the legislature extending time frames, it's still valid. It had been extended once in the past, and then it was eligible to still be valid. But I think that is coming up soon. I had let them know they might want to apply for an extension if they're not going to be done with it. I forget the expiration date now, but it is coming up. I think the end of this year or so.
Oh, yeah.
But so that's
Because I think it's just past that site. There's a stream that comes down and goes under the road. So I don't know where
Yes,
the
I
rest
don't
of that
know.
water is. Because a long time
There's
ago, the sides of the stream were totally eroded away.
oh yeah, I think that's this probably.
Okay.
And then it runs back and meets. Yeah, so it's like just off the site. Yeah, so pretty much the whole site's in the upland review area because there's the stream to the east and the wetland in the back, and so it's kind of a tight footprint where the house and everything can go, but But, so that is underway. And also a couple other lots that have been kicking around that people have been inquiring about, and sounds like something might happen on them. One is actually 80 Old Hampton Road across from the site we were just discussing in public participation. We've been hearing from the property owner possibly wanting to move forward with building a house. And then 603 Hall Hill Road, that's one we had seen a couple years ago because it was part of the Bridle Path subdivision.
Okay, yeah.
And like originally the driveway was supposed to be up Hall Hill Road, but then someone came a couple years ago wanting to have the driveway up Bridle Path.
Yeah.
And so someone actually just contacted me yesterday, interested in the lot, and I sent them all the information, the plans, everything, but they sounded very interested. And they would like to have the driveway. I tried to encourage the driveway up Hall Hill Road because it would be shorter and less encroachment toward the wetland. But obviously the driveway access off the cul-de-sac on Bridle Path is like more enticing to people. But so probably that's how.
That's interesting because I drive by that one a lot, and I remember that application. And I could have swore when they came in front of us, they basically petitioned to put the driveway off of Bridle Path because they didn't want to have to like come and go off of the main road.
Yes.
But they were basically like putting the driveway right next to the wetland, right?
Right. And it kind of like hugs.
Then after that, they essentially subdivided and created a new lot. Is that what happened?
No, that was already
right.
Right. They just never built it. Yeah.
Oh, this is the same one. It just never got built?
Yeah, it's the same one.
Oh. I thought, because I saw the signs out on Hall Hill, and I thought they actually like built that house, and then they were just trying to now make another lot.
No, same one. Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
But yeah, I thought someone was going to build. It sounded like someone was interested in building it, but maybe they were just trying to market it differently, or.
Oh yeah.
And
But
it
now
was
someone sounds very.
And it was a strange
Found something
lot, a strange way to get in. I think the piece of property from Hall Hill was
narrow,
narrow.
yeah.
Yes.
It would just take like a driveway in, and there was
Yep.
Yeah.
Not a lot of frontage.
Yeah. Most of the frontage is on Bridle Path, but
yeah.
Hall Hill would have been less kind of wetland impact. But,
Yeah.
but it does have a valid permit. That's one that became a 14-year permit by the legislature. So rather than expiring like soon, it's not expiring for another 10 years or so.
I think
And-
we
Because of the code,
requested
right?
monuments.
Yeah.
Did we request monuments, wetland monuments on that one? 'Cause it
Yes,
was like-
I sent them the conditions, and that one had both the wetland monuments and there's a conservation easement that it didn't seem like those posts had been put up. So it's a good point. I don't know that we have conservation easement tags. I'll have to figure that out. But yeah, there were a couple conditions, and like a native planting was part of the application, and there was a condition that there'd be a maintenance plan for the plantings. But there was one other condition. But,
Somebody was on the ball for that one.
right? But so that may be coming, might be happening, not coming before you because it already has a permit. But the house itself would be outside the upland review area. It's really the driveway, which would be quite long, off a Bridle Path, is in the upland review area, but has a valid wetland permit. We already talked at length about the 47 Old Hampton ENS inspection on June 9th. And then otherwise, there's just been so much coming into land use office right now. It's like bombardment. Like May and June have just been insane. Like I've never before had the online permitting system go to a second page, like my tasking. I'm like, oh no, I can't even see everything. Things are on page 2. But I don't know, it's just wild. I'm like, are they giving away garages somewhere? Because everyone's putting up a detached garage. And I know, I'm like, where can I get the... but it's just like craziness right now, especially corresponding... Oh, and just people coming in with different questions, and lots of people coming to the counter, especially on voting days. There's been, especially that first one, there was like everybody, and I'm there Tuesdays, so it's been pretty crazy. But otherwise, and then the other thing that's come up, I can't remember, I should check the May minutes if I mentioned it. There's been a little kind of dispute over Lafayette Pond. that one we had talked about once when it had dried up, and that's one where RHL owns the land, but Jarmark leases the land. Like, the property contains both like the tobacco fields and the pond. But lately, the neighbors that live on what's that road?
It's not Maple Street.
No.
It's off a Shaker.
Yeah, but
There's like a subdivision here.
yeah.
I know the road you're talking about.
Is it with an H?
I was going to say an S.
But the neighbors along that road have Collins Road have differing opinions on on how the pond should be maintained and the level of the pond. So I was hearing from neighbors complaining about each other for opposite reasons. That one was manipulating the dam to lower the level, and another was manipulating the dam to raise the level. None of them were the property owner.
And they shouldn't have
all of them are trespassing. And so finally I got to meet with the property owner and said, I know you're not the one doing this, but you're responsible. Like, if I were to send someone a cease and desist or a notice of violation, it would be you. Like, you need to talk.
Watch your dam.
Right, like deter
Signs
this
up.
activity. And I did speak to both parties that I had heard from saying, do not, touch this dam. And what I said to the property owner was, like, if anything needs to be done with it at this point, you need to apply for a wetland permit. I should also say I had initially reached out to DEEP because I thought, it's a dam, DEEP dam safety would regulate it, but I heard back from DEEP that because it's it's considered the lowest hazard level of dam.
And they're too busy.
They don't want jurisdiction, but then they said, maybe Land and Water Resources would, and I kind of was like, I got the runaround and then I got sent back to the original department I already had reached out to. I also had reached out to Wildlife because I was told that beavers were trapped and it was out of season, but the neighbor who trapped the beavers did obtain a permit for off-season trapping of the beavers, but so that checked out. But anyway, but I'm told there's a plethora of wildlife that uses the pond, and there's concern about the pond being too low. But then
The owner is who?
Yeah, who's the owner?
what's his actual name? Liebman is his last name. I'm forgetting his first name.
Where is this Collins Road?
It's
Off of Shaker.
off of Shaker. It loops. Let's see it. It's across from Nutmeg.
Where is Shaker now? Why am I?
Shaker's down.
That's where
I'm
the-
thinking
light
East
in
Long Meadow.
Somersville.
And
Where's
this-
Shaker?
The light in Somersville. You take a right.
across from
Oh, yeah,
Maple.
yeah. Okay, got it.
Near Summer's Pizza.
That's right. Okay.
And then
So it's off-
Lafayette Pond is fed
So
by Wrights Brook.
Collins is
Collins is
off of that.
Off of Shaker. It's
just a loop street.
Horseshoe.
Okay. Is it
Right,
on the
over
left?
that area.
Yeah.
If you're coming from Route 190, it would be
Yes.
on, Collins is on the left.
Yeah.
Okay, I can see the vicinity now.
And then Lafayette
Okay.
Pond kind of parallels
Oh,
it.
okay.
And all the properties, but up to it, except not really, the pond, like land around the pond, is owned by this landowner who owns other properties in town. He doesn't live there, but he owns the land and the pond. And everyone's got their yards like right up to the pond. Some people have docks on the pond, but it's not
Oh,
their
wow.
land.
Needs to
So
get control of
I
it.
know it's like
I
It's like
know.
the pond all over again.
I know.
Do we have a food truck or is that a?
Depends on what time.
Whoop-de-doo dogs. You don't know about
the
that?
hot dog guy.
Right behind Extra Mark.
It's not a truck. It's like
Out of
It's
his
like a
garage.
little
yeah,
shed coming out of the...
yeah, like a shed. Yeah.
Somebody said, they've gone there and the hot dogs are
I haven't
delicious.
eaten there, but
I haven't either. They don't have set hours.
No, he doesn't. You're right.
I tried to
what
eat
they
there,
said.
Easy to cook. I'm not going to go buy them somewhere else.
They're gourmet though.
Oh.
I think they do them with all the different toppings and.
Yeah, but I don't do that.
And whoopie pies.
Mustard and
They
relish.
make
Oh,
that
and yes,
Oh, do they?
who own their own whoopie pies. Oh, really?
That's a
Wow.
Maine thing. They were invented in Maine.
Wow.
Going back to
The
Lafayette,
stores-
yes.
wasn't there a diversion permit for that too?
Yeah, so I do believe that Jarlock got a diversion permit from DEEP for.
So he's pumping
the
that in the summer.
Right.
The
I mean, does
pond?
that play into
The
it?
pond?
Yeah.
He's pumping water from the pond
Yeah, I mean, I'm fairly certain.
for his crops?
Yeah, I'm fairly certain it was probably dug as an irrigation
Yeah.
pond.
Oh, okay.
But there's a limit to how much you can suck out of a pond.
Right.
But he got a permit, we believe, which
Yeah.
puts him into like the upper tier of having
Like over 50,000 gallons a day. I know when we talked with them, I think they weren't thinking they were going to use that much, but just to be careful to get the permit from DEEP. But yeah, so they're allowed to withdraw water, and that's the other thing too. It's like, all right, how do you prove causation of what's going on there if the farmer's using it, but also, and I don't know if he has any idea that residents are manipulating
Yeah.
the water level, and but anyway, the beaver are one thing, and then I'm like, but nobody should be touching the physical
The
dam,
dam,
the earth
no.
around it.
No.
But I've heard all kinds of stories, and so anyway, hopefully the message was received, and nobody's going to be in there messing with the dam. And if something does need to be done, if the property owner thinks we need to fix this, then he should hire professionals and
And we might see something.
right and come before us to do something, because it does sound like a very old. It sounds like not much of a dam, and that it used to have like a structure to regulate the level, but now maybe not so much. But so anyway, something kind of weird, but yeah, that's the drama of the last
Interesting.
2 months.
Parts of it.
Right, so is that it for your?
Yes.
Okay, motion to accept
I'll make
the
a
staff.
motion to approve the staff report.
Okay, I second.
Second, Candace. All those in favor?
Aye.
Right?
All right, now correspondence and bills.
Yeah, so there's the two JI bills. There was a May. They actually, I think they must just be the minimum amount, because both May and June were the same, $39.35.
Motion to approve.
I make the motion to approve paying the bills to the Journal Enquirer.
I'll second. Sorry.
Second?
I'll second.
I was just thinking, like, how much longer is the journal required to be around?
Yeah, really.
I know.
We better pay.
We're keeping the JI alive.
Seriously.
I still got to pay to review their articles, though, if I want to read them online.
Yeah.
All right, minutes approval. Oh, I forgot about the May 6th.
I did too.
Minutes last
I
month
know.
are short and sweet.
Does anybody want to see them quick?
No, I
actually,
did read them, and,
Okay.
and they were,
they were flawless.
yes.
And I think you took them the week before, or the month before.
Oh, right. I think I did May and you did June. Yeah.
That's why she said they were.
No, I was forgetting. But you're tooting my own horn.
Can we have a motion to approve, I guess we should do it separately, May 6th meeting?
I'll make the motion to approve the minutes for May 6th, 2026.
I'll second that.
All those in favor?
Aye.
And same for June 3, we'll say.
I make the
Candace and
motion
Dan.
to accept the minutes, approve the minutes for June 3rd, 2026, the special meeting.
And Dan, you seconded that, right?
Right.
And all those in favor?
Aye.
Motion to adjourn?
I'll make a motion to adjourn.
I second.
Candace second.
Yay.
I don't know.
Are people putting in pre-built garages?
Some are like barn
Is that,
things and
is
stuff.
that any